Hola amigos, mi amo es Puerto Rico y yo es el puesto de estoy yendo de mis videos. Oh sí, oh sí, oh sí. I am the host of El Leyenda de Famoso de Videos. Welcome to a Friday night live stream extravaganza. My name is Eric, Philosophical Thinkers here. And together we're going to be playing smooth jazz to the wee hours of the morning. It's Friday night. That's a party night. Chatting with the Love Stream, number 4. That's right. Nothing but love around here. Don't embrace the hate in this world. I want you to feel that love. Yeah, I got a middle name. I do. It's Justice. Eric Justice Strauss. I bring justice wherever I go. Like a gunfighter in the Old West. Yours is Anthony. Hello, Jerry like the mouse. Oswaldo Munez. Hello. No, Oswaldo Munez. This is the Love Stream. This I should have titled it World's Best Love Stream. I was thinking, I wonder if World's Best Live Stream will actually attract any viewers. Doesn't look like it's doing a very good job so far, but maybe. We'll see. Usually the ones that attract the viewers are the ones that talk about INFPs and INTPs. Welcome to the Love Stream. This live stream is not about love, but it could be. It's not about hatred, but it could be. It's not about streaming, but it could be. It's not about parties, but it is. Philosophical thinker loves love, knows that it's lovely. I'm a little tired this evening, a little worn out. I was going to go drive Spacey the laptop that came in the mail today, but I couldn't get him on the phone, and I realized, fuck this, I'll just do it in the morning. And as I was coming back in here, I decided, you know what? I think I need to do one more live stream today. And today, this one is going to be the world's best. That's what makes it distinct from my previous ones, which were not the world's best. But this one, world's best. And it's going to be a permanent title. It's going to be, this is the best live stream I ever have done. That's the plan anyway. We'll see if it comes to fruition. So you guys who are here, the 6 of you who are here, you really tuned in to a good episode of Talking with Famous People, because this is currently, you are watching, you are enjoying, you are getting the syrup inside of your ears from the world's best live stream. If anybody has any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, complaints, queries, or so forth, thanks, Matthew. Yeah. Matthew has been enduring previous live streams, despite the fact that he basically hates them. But this one, he's saying is different. This one, he doesn't just endure it, he likes it. He likes it, he wants you to do it again. So, Matthew, Oswaldo, Jerry, Philosophical Thinker, Adrienne B., none of us had anything to do on Friday night, huh? Did you get your tarot read last night? No. I didn't. I thought that lady was going to go meet me in there, but she never showed up. Hey, it's Jeremiah Fix. Thank you for introducing yourself with the hey. I appreciate that. Hey. Best live stream. World's best live stream is a tour de force. New Yorker. A triumph. Strauss at his best, People Magazine. You're right, Hambone. That's what people are going to say when they've completed watching the single best live stream in the world, in history, forever. I had my tarot read in high school and everything came true. although it shouldn't have. Why shouldn't it have? The stories we tell come true. This is Jerry like the mouse is hiding from what he has to do. You are procrastinating. Yes, you are. I like to procrastinate too. Yes, I do. Mike Cart says, wow, this is the world's greatest live stream. Everybody here agrees. With just 11 people, this has attained the world's greatest live stream status with a very small population of individuals. And so each of you should feel very proud of yourselves as you are an integral part of the world's greatest live stream. When people are still talking about this 500 years from now, saying that was the live stream that defined live streaming for the entire era and centuries beyond, your great grandchildren will wear around T-shirts that say, I am Alexandra Cruz's grandchild. She was there making it happen, the world's greatest live stream. As it was happening, she was contributing. I was therefore contributing because I'm her descendant. Therefore, I'm Alexandra Cruz, and I'm a hero for the American people. Everyone and their dog and their dog's grandma will agree that this is the live stream to watch. If you ever watch any live stream from now to the end of time, it'll be the greatest live stream ever done. If you are not participating in the live stream, it's still the greatest for you. Even more great than other live streams, which you might participate. That's how great this live stream is. Spinner, you did. You are a lucky man or woman because you had the opportunity to and took advantage of the chance to comment during the world's greatest live stream, this live stream right now, happening as we speak. I'm aflutter with bees and butterflies. It's the live stream. Right. The live stream. You just call it that. How are you, my No. I'm talking about your grandchild. Many generations from now, we'll still be talking about this live stream. And when they do, they'll be extremely proud of the fact that you were here making this live stream pop in such a dramatic fashion. You were named, you were referenced in the live stream. My voice said your names, both of them, Alexandra and Cruz. I even pronounced it correctly, which is not usually the thing. Ah, yeah, Amber Thrasher, showing up with a bag of thunder. Well, thank you, Amber Thrasher. You are a wonderful, wonderful woman, and I want to commend you for your wonderfulness. As you can see, Amber Thrasher agrees. This is the world's greatest live stream. World's greatest. The one, the only, the possibly hour-long, possibly 2-hour-long. We don't know how long it's going to be. We just know it's going to be continual elation from start to finish without a single break. Ooh, it has been intense. I didn't call you Alexandria, nor did I call you Cruz. You should feel happier about that latter one because you have a Mexican name, and I typically mispronounce Mexican names. I don't know. At least that's what Pedro and Juan keep telling me. Pedro and Juan keep saying I mispronounce Mexican names, but I'm sure they just, pulling their Mexican stuff on me. There's not going to be 6 hours, Matthew. I got 6 hours in me, okay? But I got a good solid hour, maybe longer than that even. Okay, so Ruddy Chandran is here with an A, a C, a K, and that means ACK. That ACK is critical. It is a critical component of the world's greatest live stream. Try working in a Mexican restaurant. I will one day, maybe, but it's rather unlikely. But if I were to work in a Mexican restaurant, I would want to be the sombrero. Mexicans work in most restaurants. That's true. If you go eat at a French restaurant, who do you think cooks your food? Mexicans. Kitchen chock full of Mexicans. You go in there, nothing but burros, beans, and sombreros. Mexicans are hardworking people, I'll tell you. I have no problem with Mexicans. There's a lot of Mexicans around here. You can hire them to do whatever. They're great. Yeah, they work fast. They work hard. They're fair. Like they don't demand unreasonable things. but they expect you to be cool. I always pay them decent and buy them lunch and stuff. Drive them back to where I got them from. Instead of trying to make them take the bus or some bullshit like that. Not like us lazy gringos. Well, the thing is, I'm not lazy at all, but there's some things that I would rather delegate. Like when I had to clean out my house in Temple City and put everything back differently, I had Mexicans come and help me, I went to a Korean restaurant and guess who's making the food? Mexicans. You can get day laborers outside of Home Depot I pay them $15 an hour plus lunch, and there's no taxes or anything, so it's fine. It's like $20 an hour over the table or whatever. I'd say why things end in 99. It's the sexiest number. 99. Oh yeah. So that Eric managed to make it. Hey, I've been Mexican plenty of times, all right? I can't be racist against Mexicans. I am a member of La Raza. Okay? Remember that. I don't know what they normally get paid. I just figured pay them $15 an hour minimum. This seems fair. Less than that seems not fair. I mean, just because I change races doesn't mean I become multilingual, Freddie Chandran. Gosh. It's not like magic like that, okay? If you were to become white, you wouldn't suddenly, speak English. You'd still speak only Indian. I was thinking of how Freddie Chandran, of how you were talking about your shitty innie. I was thinking about all your millions of long, beautifully written questions and stuff. Your prose is beautiful. There's no fucking way. I know it's Freddie Chandran. That's where the funny was. You obviously already speak English, and Indian's not a language, so. I don't pay him $20 an hour. I pay him $15 an hour plus free lunch. I get Subway for him or something, What do you want from Subway? They don't really ever have a preference. They just go, whatever, anything, 50 years ago, the advertising industry did a survey. How much do you spend when you go out? And the top answer was 20. Sad but true. Huh. That's probably an old number. Oh my gosh, look who it is. Look who it is. Gang Krishna Sarmapagu. Gang Krishna Sarmapagu. What will you do with your poo? Put it onto my shoe. Gang Krishna Sarmapagu. Joey Shabadi was here as well. Says Loke Sia. Let's see. What does Sia mean? That's not read, is it? Seer is B. Loke subjunctive mood verb to be. Is that what that is? My Spanish isn't that good. Aren't we all, Mike Hart? There are Asian Americans, Black Mexicans, and white Mexicans, Asian Mexicans. Why does random trivia stay with people? Albert Einstein, Adolf Hitler, and Carl Jung. What do they all have in common? They're all German. King Krishna Sarmapagu. The room lights up when you come on through. Oh, there's a better lyrics, actually. Gang Krishna Sarmapagu. The room lights up when you come on through. There's one too many syllables in there, maybe. When you come through. There's no one else quite like you. King Krishna. Sarmapagu. You got yourself a Broadway song there, King Krishna Sarmapagu. That's what we need. We need a Broadway musical about this live stream because it is the world's greatest live stream. They're going to be talking about it for many, many years. They might as well make a Broadway musical about it, you know? Young the Swiss. Eric, you need to make an intro KKSP song, man. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll make an extended version of the King Krishna Sarmapagu song. I'm not sure. Maybe make a song with everybody's weird names in it. Like, all threaded together or something. Who knows? Sarmapagu's so smart he can almost tie his shoes. She's a lady, I think, Matthew Alistair, if I'm not mistaken. A young lady. Too young for you, maybe even. I believe she's, I don't know, 17 or something? 16? I don't know. She's young, I think. Like Yo Quiero Taco. Yo Quiero is how you say that, okay? It's Mexican for want. Oh, sorry, King Krishna Sarmapagu. My bad. I don't know. I just guessed randomly. I just err on the side of safety. Then you go, no, I'm 22. Then that's fine. But if I go, I think she's like 20s, then you go like, no, I'm 16. Well, that's too late. Matthew's already tried to get it. Yes, people call her by her full name, King Krishna Sarmapagu. Isn't that true, King Krishna Sarmapagu? That when people come up to you and they talk to you in life, they go, hey, King Krishna Sarmapagu. They say all of your names, right? They should. If they don't, you should get mad at them. That's totally fair. Totally fair for you to get mad at them if they don't say all four of your names. King Krishna Sarmapagu. Whoa. Who told you my name was Ken? It's one of my names. King Krishna Sarmapagu. Get it right, motherfucker. Like that. Okay. 22 next year. Maybe 22 November 27th. She's 21. And you're already a raging drunk? King Krishna Sarmapagu. That's not very responsible of you. No, actually, people call me KKSP or Ken. KKSP is pretty rad. It's a pretty rad name, KKSP. I can see why you like that one. Are most people in India have crazy names like that too? Like long names with a bunch of different things in it? 22 seems so far away from 25. Damn, I'm old. This is indeed Luis Dizon. I was not kidding. I'm still not kidding. I'll never be kidding. This is the world's best live stream ever in the history of the world. Forever. I didn't realize you were so young, Freddie Chandra, says Mike Hart. Every time I see your name, I hear it in Eric's accent. King Krishna Sarmapagu. Much like the rest of people. What's up with the influx of Indians? Well, they're trying to kill the pilgrims. We've had an influx of pilgrims around here. So I said, what can we do to get rid of all these pilgrims? So I brought in some Indians. Now I got to get rid of all the teepees. So I don't know. What's so excellent about this live stream? Not doubting you, Eric. I just have to know. Oh, my goodness. The quality is deeply embedded in veins of precious materials throughout this live stream. The narrative arcs, swooping and diving all around, but connecting into a single in-eye whole to comprise what ultimately proves to be the world's greatest live stream. There. Are you convinced now? I think so. It would sound so weird if I said Freddie Chandran when I say my name. Oh, Freddie Chandran. You'll get used to it. Once you convince yourself to change your name to Freddie Chandran, you'll get used to it. Let's see here. Okay. Did Vladimir Putin make Rasputin song? I don't know what Rasputin song is. I doubt Vladimir Putin made it. Let's see. Complex layers of stupendous is right, Jerry. I like the mouse. And you know what? It's going to be the dynamics of those complex layers of stupendousness that future scholars critique with a fine-toothed comb to understand just how it was that this live stream, out of all live streams between the years 1980 and 2 million, of all those live streams, this is the world's best live stream. Without a doubt, no question. People are going to wonder. So now it's basically at his motel. I have his laptop here. It arrived in the mail today. I was going to go drive it out to him, and I called him a couple times. Couldn't get a hold of him. So I decided to just turn around and come home and live stream instead. I was like, I'm tired. I want to live stream. I don't want to drive all the way over there. Yeah. Marin Cruz Castaneda. That's how I'd say it. But your real name is Joey Shabadoo. So, he's probably crashed out or whatever. I get it. He's all puckered out. Are you not living with she who will remain unnamed now, Eric? No, I'm in my parents' house. I've been in my parents' house for a while, Matthew Alistair. It's nice here. It's so much nicer than, oh my God. The shit I put up with. Hambone is a badass INTP. That's what King Krishna Sarma Pagoose says, see? You just ignore Matilde volleyed at you like that. Let me see. Marin Cruz Castaneda. Is that better? Are you a fraud, Alexander Cruz? You're probably just not a fraud, but just an accidental non-INTP if you are. Am I going to decorate my background for Halloween? Probably not. I think I've had enough SFJ nonsense for a little while, actually. I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. Well, I'm not a fraud, and you're not a fraud either. Neither of us are frauds. We are both non-frauds. We are authenticodes. Authenticodes. What's the opposite of a fraud? An authenticode? A genuine non-fraudulent authenticode? Are cowards the most dangerous type of people? Not necessarily, although most dangerous people show some sort of cowardice. So there are people who are just malicious, malignant. They enjoy causing other people discomfort or using force instead of engaging people and getting their cooperation. It was 17X. I love when people like to do this shit. They come in and they go, I'm the expert passing judgment on this, and here's the problem with the shit, Eric. They don't even tell me what the problem is. Right? Many errors. Oh, 17X. People like you are a dime a fucking dozen. I hear this shit all the time. I never hear a single fucking word that actually addresses anything. Imposter syndrome. What's imposter syndrome? Cowardice in terms of what? I mean, look, there's different kinds of cowardice. There's cowardice like C.S. Joseph shows, where he wants to occasionally talk shit over there and then doesn't want to actually address anything anybody says and just makes little pussy arguments and stuff. There's that kind of coward. But then there's also like a kind of cowardice that just says, well, I'm not going to face up to my wrongdoings or when I'm wrong and be accountable. I'm just going to stick my fingers in my ears or whatever. So don't bother addressing it even, Octavia. I shouldn't have either. It's not worth addressing because it's unwarranted random nonsense. So don't go, Shreddy, don't go, says Matthew. Some people think a dime a dozen is a compliment. I always thought that was an insult. It is an insult. Well, it depends what you're talking about. If you're saying we can get these real cheap, they're a dime a dozen, they're great things, then fine. That's a good thing. If you go, if people like you are a dime a dozen, then it means there's a lot of you. There's a lot of people trying to throw out random, unwarranted shit at me. It doesn't. It's not. It's not interesting. When Eric says it's more like art than science, I don't know. I guess maybe sort of. It's not science exactly. I mean, typing people. There's certain sort of ordinal progression. I mean, there's steps to reduce possibilities and conditionally eliminate things, and shit's there's mutual exclusivities that you can push on and find out which way it breaks. So it you could probably standardize it some, standardize the process. I don't know if you can standardize interpreting, executing the process really. You have to, there's some follow-up shit you got to do. You can probably standardize it. You're a penny on the dollar. You're a nickel cent useless. I was an INTP once. Were you? Then you tested your TI and found it over somewhere in a dark corner. He's an ENFP. He's got polar TI almost for sure, although I never really tested the fuck out of it. He didn't like having it tested, but he's probably ENFP. Sure, I don't see why not. I don't see why they can't replicate it. They just have to ask the same sort of questions, interpret the answers in the same way. Hi, Countess. How are you? Yes, he's really TI polar. It's not that big of a deal. People freak out about it, like, oh my God, you got some sort of disability. I've seen some extraordinarily competent ENFPs who you never guess have TI polar unless you test it directly. It doesn't mean they're dumb. It just means they don't use conditional logic. The topic is, Countess, that you're lucky. You've arrived. This is the world's best live stream. You want a Susan B. Anthony dollar? I would like to go out with Susan B. Anthony. I would travel back in time and date her for a period of 3 weeks. Anyway, I know some ENFPs are more competent than I. ENFPs, my bad. Competency and TI do not necessarily go hand in hand. She's hot. Really? What's your name? Hottie McBoobs a lot? Yeah, I only want to date Susan B. Anthony for 3 weeks. By the end of 3 weeks, I'll be sick of her rampant feminism. Are girls revealing more clothes more likely to be raped? And if they do get raped, are they to blame? Or it doesn't really matter how they dress, and they get raped no matter how they dress. I mean, it might be the case that girls with skimpier clothes on are more likely to get raped, but it wouldn't be their responsibility for their rape at all. They would still be the responsibility of the rapist regardless. Because while wearing skimpy clothes might make it more tempting in some regard for somebody to rape them, it doesn't make it any more okay, because the rape is an act of violence against the autonomy and bodily integrity rights of another human being, and as a consequence can't be justified by whatever your crazy nonsense is. I raped you because you had a hat on. I raped you because you were wearing that dress. I raped you because you didn't tell me the secret code word. I raped you because, it's like all that shit is, none of that stuff is justifying anything. So obviously, no, it doesn't justify anything. No, there's no situation in which genocide would be morally right. It's ridiculous. You want to date Jim Morrison for a day? He was just a sloppy, drunken ESFP. It's mostly rape because men are rapists look for the weakest woman to rape. Rape is mostly about power. Women, especially get raped because they display weakness. I mean, it's an act of violent assault, a way of imposing one person's will upon another who has presumably expressly, not consented to it, and so it's a rights violation. It's how big of a rights violation it is. That's potentially open to debate. Like, is it amongst the most serious? Is it somewhere in the middle? Is it? I mean, you could debate that if you wanted to, but the point is, it's kind of irrelevant. If you're debating that, it seems like you want to downplay the significance of the rights violation, which is in and of itself definitive. If it's a rights violation, it's a rights violation. That's all there is to it. It's not okay. We can't justify it. If she's a crop top and short shorts and starts screaming and takes him, tases him, she will most likely scare him off. Yeah. Your incredible sexiness has made me immune to your pepper spray. It doesn't work like that. Genocide of mosquitoes, that's fine. I mean, I don't like genociding insects. I tried to genocide all the flies when I was at Kimberly's house. I was unable to genocide them all. I killed a lot of flies over there, let me tell you. Spent a lot of time killing flies. Well, that wouldn't really be called genocide. So genocide tends to say you've drawn a arbitrary distinction around a large section of the population. Like, those people are the Mexicans, or those people are the whatever, and then you kill all those people. What you're talking about is a utilitarian thing. I think it would be perfectly fine to quarantine that village, make sure nobody goes in or out, set up barriers, even indicate that if you're in the village and you're trying to get out, that we're going to shoot you. But I don't think it's okay to bomb the place or something, even though it might be more efficient. Relationships seem to be complicated with FI polar. I mean, I'm hoping that my next one's pretty straightforward. I want to find somebody who's just, who's easy to be with, and I don't have to have a big bunch of drama of any sort. I don't want any more drama in my life. No reason for it. Who knows what short for a girl is? Who knows? I had a girl, Candace, she was 4'11". Who cares? It doesn't matter. My boyfriend just left to work the night shift, so I'm bored. Well, good for you. You're not bored anymore because you're participating in the world's best live stream. As long as she's not taller than me, that's just weird. My heart, it's fine. If the girl's taller than a dude, it's not a big deal. Some people think it is for some reason. I'm 6'4", so I've never even been able to consider being with a girl taller than me, really. There are some out there, but I've never encountered them. 4'11" is Snooki short. Well, I mean, that's a big difference in height between me and her, What are your environmental plans for your presidency? Are you a non-interventionist? What's a non-interventionist? I believe in federal environmental regulations. I think that one of the areas in which I differ from the average libertarian, I think it's appropriate for the federal government to have environmental regulations. I think it's appropriate for state governments to have environmental regulations. I've been to China. I've seen what it's like when they don't. I was in California before they put in all the emission shit for smog, and I remember from my childhood how bad it was. And it's so good now. And the other thing is, and it makes sense as something that ought to have government jurisdiction. It's environmental issue, because that's something we all share. We all share the environment. Why are a lot of ENTJs and ESTJs image conscious? Third slot SE. Third slot S. Wait, ESTJs? That'd be 8th slot FE we're talking about there. This is they have in common. Anti-war? Am I anti-war? I mean, sure. I would like to remove U.S. military forces from various places around the world to the extent that we can do so quickly and without causing undue damage. Then we'll do so as quickly as we can. And I believe that, of course, we shouldn't be killing people with drones in the Middle East. We should stop doing that. And we need to basically adhere to the normal standards of a citizen democracy that is noble, just, and transparent in spirit, if not in practice. Livestream is cool too, though. What would justify this title of the world's best love stream? Livestream. Well, I mean, probably because it's better than all of the other live streams in the entire world. That makes it the world's best. Am I pro-nuclear power? I don't really have a firm position on nuclear power. I would say yes in favor of the newest generations of nuclear power generators, which generate very little nuclear waste because they reuse most of the shit that they do. There's a certain kind of it. It's called I forget exactly what it's called, but that kind of nuclear power plant I would say is probably very advisable. But I'll have to have a meeting with people who know about that shit, and ask them a lot of questions. If there are some things where I'm going to have to do my due diligence in terms of research and talking to people, and some things that I already know about. I don't know about absolutely everything, but I know way more about most things than any other candidate that has ever run for president. So, as a consequence, I should be president. So, as a consequence, I will be president. At Can Krishna Sarma Pagoo. Also, people who cheat old people of their life savings or child molesters because they do long-term and irreversible damage. Yeah, well, some identity thief tried to steal all my dad's shit, but we got on that shit and protected it until we didn't get anything really. But they tried to do that. Is it possible to improve on your polar? Yes, it is. Growth is possible in all of your areas in general. But the thing about that is, you don't improve on your polar by attending via your polar more. You improve on your polar by metacogniting about the limitations of your polar, and by recognizing that you need workarounds for your polar, and by learning when you ought not let your polar control you, and how or when you can try to have some resistance rather than it being the place of no resistance, which it often is. If I could go back in time and kill Hitler, would you? No. I wouldn't want to change a bunch of history already. It's already done. Why? Well, what if the person that cheats as their kid is just right? I mean, there's some complications in the some of those things to saying who's cheating who. They're complicated family things. But in my instance, it was random identity thieves trying to scam my father. What do you guys think about Camille Paglia? I don't know who that is. I need to play more strategy RPGs, but they confuse me. Wow, then you need to be confused more frequently. I'm going to feel very old if no one gets that reference. What is the reference? I didn't see what it was. No, my boyfriend doesn't drink or smoke. My boyfriend does both. But yes, my boyfriend ate most of the lasagna. Actually, I have thoughts sometimes of conducting human experiments and see how it shall play out by killing one or two in the experiment. Well, that's normal to have those sort of thoughts. see here. I love her too, says CJ O'Connell. Alexander Cruz. Oh, you don't know me apparently. Countess, you are such a. That's no, not good. Eric, reaction video to MBTI Vines. Do it. Lots of views guaranteed. Okay, I'll try it. 17x. Which MBTI type is most likely to love the most content life? Probably ISFJ or ISTJ. If they get it right, if they have their life right, they'll probably be pretty damn happy. I might run for president someday, but I'll have to learn more about it before I can be certain about that. Are violent video games to blame for gun violence? No. It's the freaking stupidest thing in the world. Camellia Pagilia has a fast talking style like me, so obviously I love her. It's a debate. What is the thing behind you? Okay, fine, Countess. I still have some lasagna left over. Yes, Vine's reaction, says Oswaldo Muniz. He obviously agrees with these 17X. The CIA said we need to stabilize the South American country because of humanitarian crime by dictator. Do you trust CIA? I don't trust American intervention in South America. Do I trust CIA? I mean, I'll have to see what they have to say. I suspect that there's plenty of well-intentioned Americans who end up being CIA agents. And I also suspect that the nature of that machine is such that it produces probably net harms. But it depends if it's actually constrained or not. I'll have to find out how much secret bullshit's going on, you know? Are violence video games to blame for gun violence? Of course not. It's ridiculous. No, not at all. I like her style, but say she's an EHP. Who? Pagilia or whatever the name is? Thanks, Matthew Alistair. I appreciate it. See, this is part of why this is the world's best live stream. Gun violence has to do with ideologies in general, yes. In terms of like the mass shootings and stuff, they tend to have to do with ideologies. Jerry like the mouse says, violent video games are as responsible for violence with guns as food is responsible for obesity. That's a terrible analogy. I mean, it's a terrible analogy. The best correlation you could say is advertising for food is responsible for obesity. But the thing is, violent video games are not advertising for acts of public violence. They are replacing that. They're letting us play fantasies and stuff. Almost nobody, if there is any causal relationship between violent video games and gun violence, then why is it that almost nobody who plays violent video games ever commits any gun violence? It's a pretty weak correlation, right? At best, how many people play violent video games and how many of them commit gun violence? Why draw the correlation? Okay, but look, almost nobody who uses a violent video game uses it to practice for real life violence. And if there weren't violent video games and I were practicing for real life violence, I'd go out of the shooting range with a gun and actually aim and shoot things with a real firearm. That'd be much better practice, probably, right? Because in the violent video game, you don't have recoil, you don't have wind effects, you don't have anything like that. So it sounds like the violent video game is preventing them from practicing effectively, right? Those sociopaths who would practice anyway, right? I mean, we know for a fact that if an ideologue commits acts of mass violence, that they may or may not have played a violent video game at some point prior to that. Or we also know that to kill somebody, they have to get a real gun, full of bullets, decide to go out and shoot people, and do so knowing full well they're probably going to end up dead or in jail for the rest of their life. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's no correlation at all. Thing is, students have debated this topic before, violent video games. There is no correlation. What is the context that we were discussing shooters and violent video games? Sophistry, dude. People were like, someone was like, violent video games correlate with violence. Like, Jerry like the Mouse said something. So the point is, I point out that no, of course not. That's ridiculous. There's absolutely, in fact, the correlation is so weak, you'd say they almost counter correlate. If you were to play correlation with it, because almost nobody who plays violent video games, and shit tons of people play them, ever engages in gun violence. But what about the video game titled Real Life Shooting Spree Simulator 2019? That's my favorite joke, Jerry, like the Mouse. I don't know. It's fine. It's like Grand Theft Auto, right? Oh no, there's gonna be this big rash of auto thieving. There wasn't. There isn't. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Softry Dude. Let's see here. So, here on the world's best live stream, lots of exciting adventures happen. Adventures of learning, adventures of truth, adventures of winning, adventures of losing, adventures of glory, adventures of sadness, adventures of shame, adventures of honor, and adventures of wonder. All those adventures and more happen here on the world's greatest live stream. If you've never experienced the world's greatest live stream before, well, you're not alone. In fact, nobody's experienced the world's greatest live stream before right now, because guess what? This is it. You are afloat on a sea of glorious, good, fantastic stupendousness that you'll never replicate the rest of your life, because this is the world's best live stream. There's a lot of violence in this live stream, so we're going to tone it down. We're going to take down the tone. We're going to bring it back from the violence back to the love, because this is not just the world's greatest live stream. It's the world's greatest love stream. Let's talk about love. Deep down, each one of us, we need to love everybody with our hearts, with our tenders, with our moistures, with our undercarriages. We need to jiggle, we need to fondle, we need to jostle, we need to juggle, and do all these things with each other. And only at the end of all of this love will we really know what it means to be love. Welcome to the love stream. Can't get Christian sorry for you. You're fucking depressing the shit out of me. Stop saying that shit. I don't want to hear about your sad culture shit. What are some political issues that you think are warped by rationalizing? Well, I mean, obviously, abortion is warped by rationalizing more than any other, probably. I think gun rights are warped by rationalizing too. There's no possible way anybody can try to meaningfully claim that the ownership of weaponry is an absolute right, because only silly-minded, silly people think that it should be easy for anyone to get a nuclear weapon. Well, that's true, sophistry, but that's a post-hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy as well. So, good argument, but fallacious. What the hell are you actually talking about when you're talking about depending tenders? I'm not talking about depending tenders. I'm talking about dampening your tenders with dampness. What I want you to do right now, I want you to reach out with your fondle hand. I want you to find your undercarriage. I want you to jiggle and jostle it until finally you dangle your tenders into the dampness. That's when you know you've found your authentic self, your feeling self, the self you can take home to mother and say, here I am, all covered in dew. Okay, now does it make sense? Take it over to my mother, not yours. My mother's as sexy as the day she turned 18 years old. My mother hasn't aged a day. I took her to a porno agent the other day. We walked in and he said, hold on. Operator, get me Brigham Young. If they're not available, I'm on Dirty Debutantes. This young lady is just about to start her career in the sexual industry. So, whoa, my mother's 83 years old, mister. She looks this good thanks to Oil of Olay. Oil of Olay is our sponsor today. If you want to look this good when you're that old, use Oil of Olay. No, Stan, I haven't seen that. That's weird and strange. It's very weird and strange. Yeah, I'm sure there's no competition at all in that age bracket. You're right. I didn't remember that I have ice cream in the fridge. Well, you don't want to forget about that. You know what I have in the fridge? Pineapple. Cut, fresh, ripe pineapple. Why? My friend Cameron came over earlier. He always brings a little gift, you know. He's an ISTJ. His FI is real. He wants to care. He wants to make me happy with some pineapple. 80 years old, but fucks like a 79. It's hilarious. That's good stuff, Hambone. You get 5 points for that one. Grandma, get your anal beads out of the pudding. You ruined the turkey and the stuffing again this year with your anal beads. I'm sorry. Kyle was just over here. Oh, for Christ's sake, Grandma, anal mucus all over everything. We're talking anal mucus, Michael Thompson. We're talking the anal mucus that's covering Grandma's anal beads and ruining Thanksgiving again. Oh, I'm upset, Countess. I'm upset at Grandma. Has anyone seen Good Boys Who Get Anal Beads to his Christ as a gift? That's fucking hilarious. This is becoming the best live stream slowly. Well, you know, the best things in life don't happen instantly. Those things are quick and over so quick. This is a slow development. This is like making love for 4 long, slow, tiring hours. What am I upset about? Anal fisting? Well, I'm sorry. I never. Mom, Grandma knitted me a cock sleeve for my birthday again. Grandma is such a filthy slut. I tell you. Don't be upset, Eric. I won't. What am I being upset about? Anal fisting? Why did somebody sneak up behind me with a fist and shove it up my anus till it touched me in my chest? Okay, I won't discriminate against the anal beads. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry I yelled. I know this is our family tradition. We just have to tolerate the anal mucus. Are all members of Queen gay? I don't know. I mean, it'd be great to be the straight one in Queen, you know? Because back in the day, when like I was in middle school and shit, like nobody knew somehow that Judas Priest and Queen were like mega gay. Nobody seemed to get it. It was like that leather's tough, like bikers or something. You know, it's just the 80s, I guess. People were oblivious. Nobody was openly gay back then. Fisting is as American as baseball. That's true. Rita, it's never too early for anal talk. All right. We're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving. So it's time to bust out the family stories about grandma. Ugh, I've never seen it. I've heard it. I don't want to see it. What makes something funny? Well, it's a risible hilarity that just can't be defined. I would say it's surprise. There's a lot of has to do with surprise. It's mostly surprise. If you surprise someone in a way that is, you know, unexpected and something, then people laugh. I don't know. Try to explain that. That's such not a funny question. Explain humor. Explain comedy. How the fuck do you explain comedy? Risible. There's a funny Norm Macdonald bit where he uses that word. Really? Well, I use lots of words when I speak. The quickest way to ruin a joke is to explain comedy. Comedy explanation. Section 1. To achieve comedy, humor must be attained. The transsexuals did not appreciate the new Dave Chappelle special. Why? Did he make fun of them? What is humor? Humor is funny. Funny is laughter. It's impossible to say. You can't talk about it. It's under attack. I'm sorry to hear that. He made fun of them, transsexuals. I mean, I don't make fun of them. I feel bad for them. I think they're making a mistake. I don't think that you should do that. You know, it's weird. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't know what to think about it, really. Why we always got to end up on divisive topics? Hey, says Oswaldo Muniz, can't we all just talk about something nice and pleasant? Let's talk about the Dodgers. Let's talk about anal beads, Grandma, and the Dodgers. Remember when the entire Dodger team took their turns on Grandma? Sten, at Countess. 1, Eric rants all the time, so what happens? People listen, so to hear them solves 1. And if they're silent, well, silent is an issue for each. What was she asking? I'm curious what the question was you responded to. What is the best thing to do when an EHP is ranting or silent? When I'm silent, it means I'm making something probably, and leave me alone. That's what it means in general. I'm probably working on music. I'm working on editing something. You know, I'm not always playing like this. A lot of time I'm making things. Before I did this, I finished recording this track I need to record in order to make my deadline for Ruse Moose. I actually had a deadline sort of that I needed to get him that track before Saturday because he was going to record on Saturday and he was going to lay down a drum track for me. So I made sure I got that thing done before I started live streaming. Didn't take a long time. Cameron came over. He and I smoked bowls. I chatted with him for a while. And that was fun. And then I started thinking, I'm not getting shit done. So if you can't laugh at yourself, then who can you laugh at? You can laugh at the butt of the joke. somebody else. You can laugh at yourself too. It doesn't hurt. I often laugh at myself. I actually spend a lot of time needing silent aloneness because of those things I'm making. The other day I was at the Boat restaurant with Spacey and Tori, and I'm all I had a pad of paper with me and a pencil. And I was thinking about something and writing some shit down. And throughout the lunch, they were trying to sort of talk to me, and I'd be like, but I was just basically ignoring them. And then at one point, Spacey's like, "Boy, Eric sure is a different person with a pad of paper in his hand." Well, if I'm doing something, I'm totally different person. I'm not social at all. I'm not gregarious at all, and I'm not interested in talking. And I'm trying to get something done. And the thing is, everybody on the channel here, you guys see the live streams, you guys see the videos that I make and stuff, but you don't see the part where I have to do all the behind the scenes shit that's boring. Or not necessarily boring, but this I like working on music. It's pretty fun. But it's definitely work. And it definitely requires precision and attention and all sorts of stuff like that. And dealing with shit smart and yada yada. Elaborate on this, Eric. Elaborate on what would you like to elaborate on? What I was just talking about? What was I just talking about? So, if you're an FI dumb, if you're an FI polar person like me, then you have brooding periods as well, where you kind of you sit there and just. But by and large, for me, I've got productivity periods, ride periods, play periods, and brooding periods. Did I get any fights when I was younger? I got into a couple of fist fights. Is the HP brain just tiring as fuck? I feel like my thoughts alone take a bigger toll than most people's, where I get abnormally low energy levels. Also, if I don't get a full night's sleep, I'm dead. HP energy levels are very shitty. The ideal HP life cycle is you get up maybe 9 in the morning and you work or do shit for until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and you take a nap, and then you get up again and do shit in the evening, and you sleep all night. That's what you really need to, because it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of food too. You also need to eat a lot. If you eat a lot, you have a lot more energy, but you need to remember to eat a lot. The longest I've ever brooded, I went through a fairly long brooding period when I was with Kimberly. I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm depressed or something. The reality was, I was depressed. I was depressed by being with Kimberly. Pegu a song? Oh, no, that's not a song. A song like the tea? Yawn Morning. It's Scott Morgan, INFJ. Probably. I don't know Shreddy, but I can. But by her name, I can. T.E. She is South Indian, probably Tamil from Tamil Nadu state in India. Well, he hated me in high school. All the ladies wanted him, and I hated him too. Then he reached out to me since we were both in LA and started transitioning, so I took her out. Weird. So you're saying, Eric, what you do is a type performance? I don't know what that means. So bursts of enthusiasm and just vegetation levels. The thing is, you gotta eat a lot of food. You gotta get your nap in, and make sure you don't stay up too late or too long, and then you'll be fine. Or you can take Adderall, which can extend it, but then you go through a real sleepy period. The problem with the ESPs is they don't particularly sleep well or rest well when they do rest. They sleep better in the afternoon than they do at night, and their brains spin. So it can be, if you don't manage your SI well, you can be fucked. But it's like, I'm gonna go on a sleepy week probably in a few days, and then I'll sleep well. I'll crash hard, and I get a lot of good sleep. And then by the time I get back to sort of normalcy where I'm just bouncing off the walls a bit, then I'll get a new bottle of food. If I pull her over self-loathing, I was totally self-loathing for a lot of years when I was drunk, for sure. I wake up every morning and I'd say, shame and anxiety, I wish I were dead, I wish I were dead. And you say those things over and over again. You worthless piece of shit. The world would be much better off if you were dead. All this kind of stuff. I say that shit to myself all the time. All the time. And the reason is because you think somehow you're being just. Like, well, at least nobody will criticize me for failing to hold myself accountable. Yes, Louise DeZone, that was Amber Drasher. She's quite a friend of the channel, let me tell you. It's not the first time she's donated in that fashion. How do I feel about Israel? Well, I mean, that's too broad of a question. What sort of policy advocacy do you want me to make on Israel? That's a more interesting question. What can you buy with $100? You can buy typing. What about it? I favor our alliance with Israel. I think it's a good thing. I think they represent a bastion of Western culture in the Middle East. They're the only non-majority Muslim nation in the region. They're a buffer between the Middle East and everybody else. And they are the only aces of democracy in a shithole edge of the world. Right. Exactly what Den says. So I'm going to side with Israel. Now, the thing is, I don't like what happened to the Palestinians. I don't think that it's just. I don't think that the Palestinians should have been basically just booted from their land to make Israel possible there. I think that's bullshit. But regardless, the status quo is what the status quo is. And in the status quo, the Palestinians are not demonstrating a willingness to sort of internalize this new reality, but continue to try to fight against it. I will agree with that, Luis DeZone, if in fact you consider him an MBTI channel. Thanks, Octavio. What do you mean they weren't booted from the land? Palestinians? When Israel was created after World War II? Yeah, they were. They said, no, this is no longer Palestine. This is Israel. That's what happened. What? They weren't booted. Their land, their sovereignty was removed, and they were placed under the sovereignty of Israel. So maybe booted was the wrong term, but they had their sovereignty stripped of them. They were taken over. I mean, that's my point, Alexander Cruz. I'm not going to go back fucking thousands of years in history to articulate to decide the issue. And I'm not going to go back to the beginning of Israel either. I'm saying, regardless of whether they got fucked, I'm siding with Israel. So you agree with me too. You're saying, yeah, they did get fucked back in the 40s, but they fucked the Israelis way before that or something. Either way, we're on the same page. We can't focus on what happened that long ago. It's not useful. Would it be unfair to call you an anti-Semite for speaking against the Israeli state or not taking AIPAC money? I'm not speaking against the Israeli state. So it would be definitely unfair to call me an anti-Semite. But even if I were, it would be unfair to call me an anti-Semite because I'm not anti-Semitic. I've been Jewish many times. To the extent that Jewish is a race, I am an experienced Jew. I've had the matzo ball. I've had that little hat on top of my head, the yarmulke. I've gone oy vey. I've opened a jewelry business. You know, I've done all that shit. I'm as Jewish as the most Israeli Jew and as Jewish as Israel's ever existed. I'm more Jewish than Benjamin. So don't be telling me I'm anti-Semitic. Sometimes my name briefly changes to Eric Straustein. I'm a correctist. Remember that. There's only one ist that I am, and that is a correctist. I am correct about every single issue and incorrect about none of them. Period. That's it. I will take a bomber for you, Oswaldo. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Got this weed. I also got, Cameron brought me not only pineapple, but some keef. Yes, that's right, keef. He has this coffee grinder that he uses to grind up his weed and obviously collects a shit ton of keef in it. And he gave me some of this keef to smoke. So Woody Allen is a sick pedo. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if you call him a sick pedo, but he's not a pedo. He's a pederast, which is different than a pedophile. He might not even be that anymore. Who knows? The thing is, yes, it was super creepy of him to fuck his 18-year-old adopted daughter. Yes, it was. Does that make him a pedophile? No, it does not. All right, so let's get that straight right there. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, look, this is one of the reasons why I'm so transparent about everything, right? I'm not pulling any shady shit because I'm super public about everything. And I'm not pulling shit that's going to cause me to be subjected to huge amounts of judgment from everybody because I'm a first line FE and I don't want to deal with that shit. He adopted an Asian girl to groom her into his wife's sex partner. Holy than thou. What does him being Jewish have to do with anything? It has absolutely nothing to do with that. I don't know. Who chose you to fucking shit on somebody's basically race? Did you not know I'm transracial? That includes Jewish. You're offending me. I'm one of the chosen people. I chose myself as one of the chosen people. And that's pretty good chooser, okay? I also chose the rest of my Jewish friends over there as chosen people. The ones I don't like are not chosen. You, I don't care what you are not chosen. Z888. You're chosen for the shit pile. There you go. How you like that? God, Group 8 is so stupid. Group 8 is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. It's like, here, I'm a complete moron. We're getting everything wrong. I am mistaking my ideas for other people. I'm making up shit in my own head and thinking it's more important than actual reality. Being fracked by an ethnic group that can't clean out their own house. Calm down and clean out your own house of filth. What a fucking retard. Why did you clean out your own fucking ass from all the cock that's shoved up into it? I'm tired of seeing you taking 40 feet of penis in your ass at all times. Of course, race is a stupid notion. Of course it is. Have you seen my cards, Jones A and B, about how race is not real? We're not post-racial. We're transracial, CJ. Transracial. I mean, it's got to be difficult for us. Oh, you fucking asswipe. Who's their claims? Who are this they people? It's like everybody here is random fucking people from all over the world, right? I got Sreti Chandran, who's a beautiful white woman. I got Sten, who's a dark, black, deep, dark African man. You got Rachel Apalosa, who's a little Eskimo, philosophical thinker. He's a Mexican. I got Z888. He's African American. So, I got Countess here. She's Singaporean. That's like their own race, I'm pretty sure. And you're in here going, racial purity. I'm a moron. I mean, are you fucking serious? What a fucking retard. Who's original native Jews? What are original native Jews? And remember, wanting to do something is not the same thing as doing it. Claiming, right, I'm Malay too. I'm Malay. Some fucking stupid ass fuck. I get no money from any of these live streams. Well, I do from the live chats here today, but I get no ad revenue from them. Why? Because I cannot stop talking about naughty shit and cursing and stuff. And who drives me to it? That's the question. And Stan's asking it, who triggered Eric, right? Who triggered me this time? It was Z888. That's who it was. Triggered me with this stupid ass shit. Yo, Can, you got a Facebook? It's me, Matthew. What's your Facebook? Should I look under Can Krishna Sarmapagoo? It's me, Matthew. How you doing? Ooh. You're exotic like curry. I like that. Evil people come from everywhere, be of any race, subscribe to all sorts of religion. Those in the Bible. Those in the Bible what? Hey, Louise, cool with anti-Semitism. Well, we clearly need an episode on the Jews. For God's sakes. You are on timeout, mister. You are on timeout. Timeout. Did you trigger Eric? I don't know. What are you saying? Some bullshit? Oh, that original native Jews are just as violent as ISIS because they want to eliminate energy. If there's some sort of group of political ideology in Israel, they aren't actually doing that, though. They aren't just randomly killing Muslims or anybody else. And they don't represent anything close to the mainstream of Judaism. Oh. What are your plans for dealing with everything happening with immigration? I'd like to see immigration limited reasonably. I mean, just have a sensible immigration policy, which means a much more restricted immigration policy. But I'm not in favor of closed borders. I'm certainly not in favor of open borders. I think that we should have reasonable borders. Like, there's no reason for us to be all locked down with Canada. Why? Why are we all locked down with Canada? Wow, security. That fucking security theater is so stupid. There's lots of places where you can go over from Canada to the United States without dealing with anything, any sort of thing. It's just the roads that have those things. Let's see. Eric, what do you think of the 6 million figure? Seems a bit high. 6 million figure for what? I don't know what that's about. Bagels are adult donuts. That's a good point, Jerry. Like, that's quite delicious. Revelations 3.9. This is the third 0.9 of all of my revelations. Tonight is the world's best live stream. That's the revelation I'm revealing today. You're in the Bible? Really? What do you do in there? Are you the guy that shoots fire? Any advice for someone at Santa Cruz? Santa Cruz. Have a better time than me. I had some fun up there, I guess, but I was happy to get home. I wasn't especially successful socially or anything. I had a rough time of it. But I would say if you're at UC Santa Cruz and you're enjoying the company of the people you are hanging out with and stuff, and you find a nice place down by like steamers or something where you're by the ocean, kind of. It's pretty rad there, but especially if you're happy or not. I wasn't happy up there. What year are you running for president? Realistically, it depends. It depends on things. I have in my current long-term plan stretches about a year, which is as long as I expect my mother to probably live about a year. She could live longer, but I expect her to be cared forable by me and my dad in the conventional way and stuff. It requires my attention on the matter for probably about another year. At that point, she'll either be vegetative or not with us anymore. I don't think so, because she's fading. I can see it, and Dad can see it, and it's moving along. So anyway, at the end of that year, if I have time, I'll launch myself. If I have time and resources and preparation and everything, I will launch myself for a late run at 2020. But if I don't, because that'll give me a year. But if I don't, but what year is it now? 2019? No, that'll be when the election is. It'll have to be for the next election. But that actually got time out fine. So basically, as soon as I'm done with dealing with my family stuff here, I'll be free. And I mean, my dad's coming up too, dealing with him, but he doesn't have dementia, so he's still as sharp as a tack, And once mom's gone, I'll be considerably more free, even with dad still alive. Dad might live another 10, 15 years, who knows. KKSP, will your boyfriend get mad if I flirt with you on Facebook? No, Matthew, he wants that to happen. Do you think people will go extinct one day? Yeah, eventually. Someday. You'd be completely crushed what? If what? How is this making you feel? I'm wondering. Look, the thing is, you get used to it. It's not like it happens all of a sudden, right? It's a slow progressing thing. And so you kind of mourn for a while at first when she's still there. And you see her, that's harder. Now she's gone and she's just kind of silly like kid, like little toddler, basically. But fun sometimes. And doesn't make me sad. And for me also it matters the context. Now I'm back at home. I'm here with the family. I'm experiencing the thing with my dad as a family, the 3-person family like I was when I was a kid. And my dad and I are bonding over mom, and mom's not getting left out of this at all. There's still elements of her that are there for sure, and we do the best we can for her and make sure she's well loved and stuff. Regardless, I'm happy to be here for this year. I'm happy to help with mom and to be here with dad, and it gives me a lot of FI satisfaction, a lot of SI satisfaction, a lot of TI satisfaction in being here to pay back my parents for all the love they gave me and stuff. So I'm glad to be here. But when my mom dies, then I will throw my attention to the presidency, because it will be absolutely necessary at that point, and as is now, for somebody to step forward who can successfully capture the imagination of the country. And the only way to do that is to be the best, to be right, and to thanks, Crystal Vortex. I love you too. It restores citizen democracy. The thing is, I want to be able to talk to everybody and have them say, these are the things that I care about. These are the things that matter to me. And for me to go, okay, well, you're right about this, or you're wrong about this, or here's where elements of what you're saying are right that we can address and we will address because they're right. Here's where you're wrong, but I don't want to get in a fight with you about it. I don't want to be your enemy. I want to figure out what is it that you're attached to that makes you want to be wrong about this. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you convince me I'm wrong. Well, one of us has to be wrong here. So let's talk it out. I'm not endorsing anybody for 2020. I don't know enough about it. I haven't looked into it. I'm busy with other things. Hambone, yes, you can be on my campaign staff. I will look again when my mom passes away. At that point, I'll have some resources to spend on the campaign. Unlike Trump, I won't have a problem spending some of my own money on the campaign at all. You really like the mouse? How do you get a typing session? You go to the DOC that is linked beneath each of the typing sessions, which I'll get you the link for here and put it. And it's got a schedule. Now it's only scheduled through Sunday right now. And I need to add more sessions for next week, but I haven't done it yet. But I will do it tomorrow when I'm going to go over and work with Spacey for a while and get some shit done, Here's this. Piao. Okay. Do I think succubi exist? Maybe. I'm not good at the mushy stuff. Like my BF is obviously having a hard time because she's going outside, going through dementia, and I don't know how to console that. Well, that's what I was thinking, Stan. Trump did not spend his own money on the campaign. He got campaign contributions and stuff. Most every politician does. People aren't expected to spend their own money on their political campaigns. Do I think ghosts are real? Not in the way that most people think, probably. I was just poor. Matthew, are you from Connecticut? Yes, he is. He is from Connecticut. Lilith was the original succubi. In what way do you think ghosts are real? No, he didn't. His campaign may have spent that much money. If you look at it, you'll see lots of instances where he would lend his campaign money, but he'd get paid back by donations, stuff like that. Sure. I'll take anyone's money for my campaign. It won't buy them any leverage over me. Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight, but now I'm eating more. Lilith was Adam's first woman, but she turned out to be a baby-killing feminist, so too bad. Is that true? Lilith was Adam's first woman before Eve? She was the failed woman, so then God made Eve? I don't think that's true. The ghost thing didn't do much for me. The aliens thing even less really. I would soon believe beings in another dimension, I think. Although I could guess that could be considered alien. That would be considered alien. There's systematic oppression of the ghosts within the system. We've been overshadowed by hegemonic alivehood. Sweaty Chandra. Doubting your any. Ridiculous. So let me say this about ghosts. My ex-mother-in-law, she was from Mexico, and she said there were ghosts in Mexico, but she didn't see ever any once she got to the United States. I thought that was interesting. Okay, so he spent a total of $66 million of his own money. Are you sure about that? He didn't get repaid by the campaign. It wasn't a loan to the campaign. Are you sure? I don't think he spent any of his own money. He raised $339 million total. He ended up spending how much total? He probably just paid himself back from the campaign. I bet you. Kimberly Crenshaw will be laughing right now at him. But who's Kimberly Crenshaw? I have severe sleep paralysis, so not so much ghosts as demons. When you need money for re-election, will you be in a position of power to sell your services? What do you mean? It's not the role of president. The role of the president is not to be influenced by anything other than the interests of the country and what the best president, the correct president, knows is correct. And that's my position on things. So if anybody wants to try to give me money, that's great. It comes with nothing. If they want to know my position and it happens to be in favor of what they are liking or something, then they might give me money. NRA would probably give me money because NRA people would, because I'm pretty gun rights friendly. Not unlimitedly so, but pretty gun rights friendly. So he raised 339 million and spent 322 million. Okay, well, maybe he spent some of the money. I don't know. Fossil fuel donations cause problems. Why do they cause problems? I mean, what is the concern about fossil fuel? My position on fossil fuel is that we're going to continue using oil and fossil fuel until it becomes replaced by something that's cheaper and cleaner. That we can't force the market to adopt this more expensive energy technology without dramatically impacting every single individual on the planet in negative ways. Energy costs are not like expenditures for other things. It's not an investment in anything. It's an investment in allowing you to do things that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. So you have to treat it as such. It's like a tax on everybody when you make energy more expensive. And there are certainly much more plausible ways of dealing with shit. Like, if in fact we're talking about limited oil supplies that are running out and stuff, then let them run out. That'll drive the prices up. That'll make alternate energy necessary and more and profitable. If you don't do that, then you're going to Z88. You listen to a lot of this live stream in between your opportunities to say your nonsense. I wouldn't say there's zero evidence there's definitely bacteria. I mean, I don't know what that means. Don't forget me when you're president, Eric. Okay, Luis Duzon, I won't. I find Trump funny. I don't hate him, but I don't really think he's an American values believer or whatever. His allegiance to power, interest, and community space, probably controlled. I don't think he's controlled. I think he's just stupid, basically. He's stupid. He's a stupid man. I don't know what to tell you. The way you spur innovation in energy tech is to meet the individual's hierarchy of needs and let them vote with their wallet. I tend to agree with Software Dude there. But I understand that society is accustomed to centralization for certain kinds of utilities and such. So it's going to be a matter of what's the ideal, perhaps, versus what is actually a practical, pragmatic thing that one can do to attain outcomes. You're affording him too much credit, Software Dude. Rationality Rules is an idiot, Luis Dizon. Let me make that abundantly clear. Rationality Rules and that other guy he's friends with are both morons. Well, look. There is no better word than that. Sometimes. It's the most descriptive, right? Of all people who have ever lived, the large majority are dead. The living have all the power, the dead are blamed. Ought the dead be designated as an oppressed class with privileges and rights? Maybe. Maybe. This is what I said to Jane, and she got so mad at me. Who you said to Jane? Who? I don't even know what exactly you're referring to, but I'm glad to make you happy. 40 chests. That's why he can't even build his wall. I love you all. We love you too, Luis Dizon, because it wasn't just her law. People don't appreciate its opinion. That Trump is stupid. Oh yeah, he's stupid. I don't think so. He personally isn't necessarily making the decisions, but the president is predicated on macro scale game theory. No, you're giving him way too much credit. I mean, no. One-sided opinions seem to be really be accurate. Why? What do you mean one-sided opinions seem to really be accurate? Opinions don't have multiple sides. Opinions express an affirmation or negate an affirmation. Fucking CJ. Yeah, CJ. Trump is boring in general. I agree. All right. I think I'm going to wrap up this world's best live stream. You have all been blessed to have been participating in it for such a long time now. The wall does exist in our hearts. It is huge and beautiful. You lost my vote on account of your position towards campaign finance. Okay. Well, I mean, the point is, if somebody wants to give money to me, they're welcome to do so. And it will buy them no influence with me. Because I am, after all, a correctist. And I will articulate exactly the position I'm going to have on a given thing. So, if somebody wants to give me money, it means they already agree with one of my positions. Yeah, they are. They're idiots. Those two idiots are idiots. They're morons. Did you listen to them talk? It's freaking TE utilitarian bullshit. Good night, everybody.